Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Salem's Lot. And this movie came out in 1979. It was a TV movie, and it was directed by Toby Hooper, the same director as the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I was kind of excited to check this movie out because I kind of like Toby Hooper. And another reason why I wanted to check this movie out is because I wanted to see if it was any better than the 2024 adaptation. Like, is it going to be better? Is it going to be worse? And I'll say this much. I liked this movie better than the 2024 remake. And there were plenty of things that I did like about it. And in terms of the structure, it's pretty similar to the 2024 film. There were some shots in this movie that I really liked and can remember. And there's one really awesome scene in this movie that has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. And if it were cut out of the movie, nothing would change. But it was pretty funny, and I really liked it. It was involving just a simple guy trying to find out if his wife is cheating on him. That was the best scene in the movie for me, and the rest of it wasn't nearly as great. And I liked how things were being set up in the first half of the movie, and you didn't see anything really at all. And all of the violence was pretty much off screen, and you just have to imagine what happened. Just leave that up to interpretation. And there's things to respect about it, and it also kind of does feel like a TV movie. It doesn't feel like it was done by someone who had full creative control over the project. It did feel as though someone took an existing project and said, hey, let's make this 3 hours long so that we can have it fit for TV. And so that's what we got. And you get these long stretches of scenes where nothing is really happening and no suspense is being built up or atmosphere, really. It's just characters walking around or driving or whatnot. And it's just not all that special or interesting or necessary. And I feel as though if this movie were just 2 hours long, I think it would have worked a lot better. Because I really do believe that there is a good, solid 2-hour film buried in this movie somewhere. But going back to my positives, I liked the characters. They were very likable. Or at least the characters that you're supposed to like. The characters that I didn't like didn't need to be in the movie at all and were just unnecessary. And there's the stupid, jealous boyfriend character. He didn't need to be in the movie at all. That whole subplot of the one guy trying to find out if his wife is cheating on him. As much as I enjoyed that one scene, and I will be revisiting that scene because it was awesome, it also did not need to be in the movie. And there's a lot of stuff like that in this movie that just doesn't need to be there. And I was kind of enjoying the slower pacing of the film for the first half of the movie because it allowed me to soak everything in. It allowed each scene to breathe, and I was with it. But then it just started to get repetitive. Like the one dad character, like completely irrelevant character from every character that I've talked about. He just says, aren't you a little too old to be liking kid stuff or like monsters and blah, 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 blah. And that happens a couple of times in the movie and just does not need to be there because it doesn't add anything to the film. And the character Barlow in this movie, I kind of liked him even if he's just a monster in this movie. He doesn't have any dialogue from what I can remember. But he does look kind of cool, and there are some jump scares in this movie, and a couple of them worked for me, but most of the time they did not. And there are scenes in this movie that did remind me of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at points, which was kind of funny. But that's about all of my positives for the most part. And my issues with this movie were the visual effects that didn't look all that convincing, even though they weren't in the movie all that much. They're still very noticeable whenever they show up, and they just didn't look like they were a part of the environment. I also really did not like the music in this movie. I just felt as though it was dragging the movie down and added nothing to the experience of the film. And there were some odd character interactions in this movie that just made me think, why are we seeing things from this perspective? Or why is it being shown like that? It just didn't make any sense to me. And another issue that I have with this movie is that I just feel as though there's too many characters, where it kind of loses track of what you should be focusing on. In a way, it is kind of an ensemble of characters, but I just don't feel as though it really worked in this movie. Like, it could have been pulled off really well, but here I just don't feel as though it really added much. There were some cheesy editing choices in this movie that just left me wondering, why did you do that? And it just made the movie feel incredibly dated as a result. Like with freeze frames, that was kind of cheesy. About halfway through the movie, I was enjoying it, but then the second half of this movie kind of killed it for me because I was like, pretty much everything that I liked about this movie was just in the first half. And after that point, I was like, yeah, this isn't really all that interesting anymore, aside from a few moments. And that's about all I have to say about Salem's Lot, the original from 1979. It was all right. I didn't hate it this time around. And when I say that, I mean this particular version, as opposed to the 2024 version. That one I kind of hate to some extent, but this one I think is a lot better. It gets more things right. Like, as a standalone film, it works better as a movie. I just wish that it was an hour shorter and it wasn't feeling as though it was obligated to be a TV movie, and just because I feel as though a really good 2-hour movie from Tobe Hooper would have been much preferable to what we got. And my biggest issue with this movie is obviously the runtime. The 3-hour runtime is just not justified in my mind. And that's about all I have to say about Salem's Lot. If you want to check it out, feel free to. It's not the worst movie ever made. It's just kind of disappointing for me. So with all that being said, I'm going to give Salem's Lot from 1979, the TV movie, a 5 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below your thought of Salem's Lot from 1979 and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Stalker from 1979, directed by Andrei Tarkovsky, so look forward to that. But until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.